This channel examines real cases drawn from historical records, declassified material, and unresolved investigations. Each entry follows what was recorded, how it was analysed, and what remains unresolved when official explanations reach their limits. This is the record of an experiment meant to test the limits of human perception. This is the gateway process. In 1983, the US Department of Defense commissioned a report destined to remain buried inside intelligence archives for years. Initially circulated through closed defense research channels, the document focused on a civilian consciousness training program developed beyond direct military control. Later archived and declassified by the CIA, the report did not classify weapons systems, troop movements, or conventional threats. Instead, it turned its attention inward towards altered states of awareness, perception, and the structure of human cognition. Its tone was clinical and precise, yet its subject matter was deeply anomalous, forcing concepts of time, space, and consciousness into rigid language of military analysis. The report emerged from the Cold War, an era defined by escalation, suspicion, and the belief that no possibility could be dismissed without risk. Intelligence agencies on both sides of the geopolitical divide pursued research far outside accepted science, driven by concern that an unseen advantage might already be in play. Analysts were tasked with examining claims others would never commit to paper, operating under the assumption that ignoring unconventional ideas could prove strategically fatal. The gateway process reflects this environment precisely. It was not written to comfort or persuade. It was written to determine whether something poorly understood, deeply destabilizing, and potentially uncontrollable warranted serious attention from institutes built to anticipate threats before they fully revealed themselves. The gateway process was a system developed by the Monroe Institute, a civilian organization devoted to exploring altered states of consciousness. On the surface, the method appeared simple. Participants listened to carefully engineered audio tones through headphones while following guided mental exercises. Beneath this simplicity, however, the report describes a process aligned to interfere directly with the brain's normal operating functions. By using binaural frequencies to force synchronization between the brain's hemispheres, the program sought to disrupt ordinary perception, suppress familiar mental boundaries, and push consciousness into unfamiliar and unstable states. This synchronization technique, referred to as hemisync, formed the core mechanism through which the program claimed to exert its effects. To account for the reported outcomes, the analysis reached far beyond conventional psychology. The document describes consciousness as a form of energy, capable of interacting with reality in ways not constrained by physical location or linear time. It draws on holographic models of the universe and treats time not as a fixed sequence, but as a dimension subject to alternation or bypass. Within this framework, the report suggests that sufficiently altered states of awareness could permit perception beyond ordinary sensory limits, including experiences described as existing outside of space-time itself. These ideas are presented in formal, technical language, giving the impression of an attempt to domesticate profoundly destabilizing concepts within a military analytical structure. The Gateway process was not examined in isolation. During the same period, US intelligence agencies were actively funding and reviewing a range of programs exploring unconventional methods of perception and information gathering. Remote viewing and related initiatives were pursued in part due to concerns over similar efforts attributed to the Soviet Union. Projects such as Stargate continued for years, not because of confirmed success, but because the possibility for strategic advantage was considered too significant to ignore. Internal assessments varied widely, oscillating between cautious optimism and deep skepticism, as agencies struggled to determine whether reported results reflected genuine phenomena or psychological artifacts. The Gateway Process Report draws on a theoretical model known as the holographic brain hypothesis, which proposes that the brain does not store information in fixed, localized regions, but distributes it across neural patterns in a way similar to a hologram. In this framework, each part of the brain contains information about the whole, allowing perception and memory to emerge from interface patterns rather than discrete storage sites. The document links the idea to contemporary physics concepts that were circulating at the time, particularly the suggestion that reality itself may function holographically, with observable phenomena arising from underlying wave interactions. Using this model, the report suggests that altered states of consciousness could allow the brain to tune into information beyond sensory output. If consciousness operates through wave-based processes, then changes in brain coherence might enable perception independent of location or linear time. The report presents this not as proven fact, but as theoretical explanation for claims associated with the Gateway process, attempting to frame subjective experiences within a structure compatible with scientific language and intelligence analysis rather than spiritual interpretation. While binaural audio and guided meditation was shown to alter mental states, no reproducible evidence demonstrated an ability to access information beyond known physical constraints. Critics within the scientific community pointed out that many of the report's explanations relied on speculative interpretations of physics rather than established theory. Over time, programs connected to these methods were reduced or terminated entirely. What remained was a paper trail documenting how far official institutions were allowed to go in their attempt to map the edges of human consciousness, and how uncertain those edges ultimately proved to be. For decades after its creation, the Gateway document remained sealed within military and intelligence archives, removed from public scrutiny and largely absent from historical discussion. Its reappearance came years later through declassification and digitization. Once accessible, its association with the CIA began to carry a weight far beyond its original scope. The institutional origin alone elevated the document, transforming technical language into something more suggestive and lending authority to passages that spoke of consciousness, time, and perception in ways rarely seen in official analysis. As the document circulated, fragments of its language began to take on lives of their own. Sections describing altered awareness and non-local perception were separated from their original framework and reassembled into new interpretations. For some readers, these passages appeared less than theoretical explanation and more like partial disclosures, technical language hinting at capabilities explored but never fully explained. What remains unsettled is not simply how the report should be interpreted, but why it continues to exert influence decades later. The document neither confirms nor denies the claims it analyzes, leaving most unsettling implications suspended. Its persistence reflects a broader unease. The idea that official institutions once examined concepts they could not conclusively map, using language that suggests both caution and curiosity. Whether the Gateway process represents a discarded theory, an unfinished inquiry, or a line of investigation abandoned before its limits were fully understood, remains unresolved, and that uncertainty may be the document's most enduring legacy. That concludes this entry, but every shadow leads to another trace, and every trace to another unanswered question. If you want the next case as soon as it resurfaces, stay with us. Be sure to like, comment and subscribe, and step back into the dark with Noctombre.